guys, Miss Jen from the Discovery Museum, and I am capping off my wild adventures with the zoo theme today by planning out a zoo of my own. So I have a piece of white paper, and I actually have several pieces because zoos are usually pretty large. And I also have some coloring materials, so I have my handy dandy colored pencils, and that's what I'm going to be using, and a regular pencil with an eraser because I'm bound to make mistakes. So I'm going to sketch out my design before I go into adding color. I'm going to sketch it out, and I'm going to use a pencil that has an eraser so that I can erase when I make a mistake, because zoos are pretty large. And you also want to think about who you want to put together and whether you want to put them in little cubbies, little areas, or if you want them to be separated from each other, stuff like that. So you also want to think about their habitat, what habitats work together. So you wouldn't want to put, say, penguins with iguanas. Iguanas live in the desert, and penguins live in the cold areas. So you want to make sure that you're not trying to put two animals together that maybe don't share the same habitat. Habitats are where you live, and so we want to build habitats for them that are healthy and safe. And we also want to include other animals with them so that they have friends. We don't want to have them solo by themselves. That's kind of sad, right? So we want to make sure that we design our zoo so that it is safe and healthy for everybody. It has some walking spaces for humans, but it has some good living spaces for our animals. And then you want to think about what kind of shelters do you want for them. Do you want to have little like dens? Do you want to have little sort of like a shed, a cubby, some sort of shelter for those animals to go under when it's rainy or snowy? Thinking about raining and snowing, do you want to have some water features? Do you want to have some pools for them to swim around in? Do you want to have some area for them to drink from? So something sort of natural like a stream running through? Or do you not want water at all? I mean, if you're thinking about the desert, do you want water there? That doesn't make any sense. So you want to think about what you want your animal's habitat to be, and then how to set it up in a zoo-ish fashion. So go ahead and get to work. So I have started sketching out my design. I put two pieces of paper together long ways, and my design is a little bit unusual. This is going to be my animal habitat, this area here all the way around. And then the walking paths will be the space between. So this is all animal habitat, and I'll put little dividers, like little fences up, so that the animals can be separated. And then there are 3 circles. These circles are going to be buildings. So I'm going to have animals that go into buildings over here. So maybe one of these will be for fishies, because obviously they don't need to be outside. So we'll have an aquarium type in one of these. We'll have something where cold animals would live. So polar bears, penguins, something like that, so that they have a space that we can keep cool, because it is Virginia after all where I live, and it's going to be a little bit hot this summer. So I want to make sure that my animals that like cold weather are in a building that we can keep cold. The other thing we might do is put some birdies in an indoor space, because we want to make sure that they don't fly away, right? So we want to make sure that they can stay safe in that area. So this is the outline for my zoo. Come back and find out what mine looks like. I'm looking forward to seeing what yours looks like. Okay, so I finished my sketch so far. I have we'll start over here. I have some gazelle and water buffalo together. I hope they're going to be okay. I've got a little desert life here. So I've got a lizard and a sand cat. Those are my favorite animals ever. They're so cute and fluffy. I do have a shelter here that's heated because it's the desert and they're going to get very cold. Over here I can't decide if this is a cheetah or a leopard, but either way I have an old dead tree for it to climb up in. Well, maybe it's not dead, just no leaves on it. And I have a tiger over here and a lion over here. I have some rocks for him to hang out on. I didn't have anything in my tiger area because I was going to do some research. I feel like I should have some jungle trees there. And over here I have sort of my warm weather Animals, I have giraffe. I put a flamingo in here. I don't know if they live together, but I put a flamingo in there. Some zebras and some elephants, so I might have to go do some research and find out if flamingos live with giraffes. Over here I put some monkeys and orangutans. I figured put them all in together. We'll see how that goes. I feel like monkeys and orangutans, they're really smart, so they probably goof around and like mess with these animals. I also put a waterfall over here so that these guys had water, and then the stream just goes through all of these enclosures, and even into the cheetah leopard. Over here I have a camel. I didn't put anything else in with him, but I think I'm going to add some smaller animals. I have a panda bear. Don't laugh at my panda bear illustration. Panda bear, and he's got some bamboo over here for him to eat. And then I have sort of a wet area, a sort of outdoor aquarium, I guess, with a dolphin in it, a seal, turtle. So we'll see. And then they have some things that they can climb on to get out of the water. Obviously the dolphin's not going to get out of the water. And then I have the aquarium right next to these guys, so things that would be in a tank. So jellyfish, starfish, clams, fishies. I have one called the ice house. Now penguins and polar bears do not live on the same pole. They live on opposite poles, but for our drawing I put them in one building because it's going to be super cold in there. So penguins and polar bears like the super cold, so we'll put them in there together. And then this final house has the bats and birds, all the flying things, so you're going to have to look up when you go in there. So and then it'll be all divided because obviously there are certain birds and certain bats that don't live together. Maybe I'll even have a section for butterflies. So that's my zoo, and I've got to add some color, but otherwise I think I've got most of my stuff created. So feel free to carry on designing yours.